Okay, hello everyone, my name is Shanae Jones and this is KNKY, which stands for Know the New Kinky You. We are about to go live on Wednesday, which we do every week, and this is the recorded version, so you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of me getting my stuff together. So hopefully you enjoy this week's session, and give me 2 seconds and we will go live in just a few. Yes. Hello everyone, my name is Shanae Jones and this is KNKY, which stands for Know the New Kinky You. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hopefully everybody who has the opportunity to join live enjoys the experience. That is always my goal and my responsibility, to make sure that you walk away with an informed conversation. Just understand that the lives only last 24 hours. So what we're going to do, what I have been doing, is recording the live sessions and we're posting them on YouTube. So if you don't get a chance to view the entire video and you would like to see it, please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and then you will be able to see it. Again, just know that I'm working with multiple cameras, so forgive me if you see my eyes here and here, live cameras here, recorded cameras here, so you'll see a little bit of fluctuation. I am your resident certified sex coach, and what that means is it is my job to help you live your best sexual lives. And if for whatever reason that you feel like you're not, then feel free to send me a DM or a message that we can connect and communicate. So the people that I work with, they are regular people. They are me and you. They are people that want more out of their lives that they probably currently aren't getting. So we are going to work together to be more informed about how it is that we can have better sexual satisfaction and gratification in our sex lives. So the last few posts, if you've been paying attention, and I hope you have been talking about sex as an art form of a sort, that it's not something that is just about the act of sex itself. It is really and truly about the dynamics of the relationship, the quality of the relationship, and making sure that you are putting yourself in the best position to have the sex that you want to have. So there was a recent post about how you would rate your sex life, right? The average, and this is not because I added it up, but most people rated their sex lives at a 6. There were a few people that even said 0. There was one person, unfortunately, and I would love to talk to you in depth, that said -7. I'm like, there were a few people that rated their sex lives at a 9, and that's what that tells me, is that there's always room for improvement. There's always something else that we could be doing to make our sex lives greater, bigger, better, more quality than what we're currently seeing, what we're currently doing. So what that tells me is that there needs to be more communication in our relationships. There needs to be more connection in what it is that we're doing based on what it is that we want. So I ask you the question, what do you want? What would make your sex life better? Is it more frequent sex? Is it trying different positions? Is it even maybe incorporating additional people into your relationship? And then when we start talking about additional people, and this is a separate topic because we can talk about this by itself, but additional people is really about making sure that you and your partner are on the same page about what it is that you want out of your relationship, and making sure that you're getting that. Okay, so the act of sexual intercourse is the culmination of your relationship, is the culmination of where you are today, making sure that you can get what it is that you want out of it, getting the intimacy that you want out of it. And it's not just about the physical act. Sex is not a solidarity act. It is really something where you are joined with someone else, whether you are in a serious relationship or if it's casual sex. You have to be able to have the conversations about what it is you want, what it is that you like, what makes you feel good, all of those things, right? And I'll reflect on a post, and there was a young lady, and everybody is entitled to their opinions, I promise you. But her comment was, sex should be for people that are married or engaged and things like that. That might not be the case for you. That might not be the case for a lot of you. It's not the case for me. I'm not married, but I'm in a relationship. So I don't feel like I should waive my right to have sex just because I'm not married. So with that being said, when we talk about sex starts outside of the bedroom, it is the concept of your relationship and what it means to be in your relationship. And I promise you that your relationship is not defined by the people around you. Nobody is going to be able to tell you what is right or wrong in your relationship. You have to know that whatever you're feeling and whatever is going on with your dynamics, if it feels good to you, it works. If it doesn't feel good to you, perhaps there's an opportunity for change. So when we are talking about relationships, it's more than just sex. As a sex coach, I promise you, sex is the objective that I kind of lean towards, but I know it's more than that. It's not just that, but sex is an expression of your love, of your dynamics, of your relationship. And if you don't take care of it, then you're not going to be in a position to kind of just accept all of the other things that are going on in your life. So when you are in a relationship, there is quantity and there's quality, right? So there are some people who want sex every day. Every day. There are some people that are good with sex once or twice a week, once or twice a month. There are studies that have proven that the more frequently you have sex, there are health benefits to it. There are relationship benefits to it. But the sex has to be enjoyable. It just can't be sex for the sake of having sex. That's just not how it works. It's not sex for the sake of sex. You want to make sure that you are in it and doing it because you want to, because you are aroused, because you are horny. You want to make sure that you are engaged, right? When you're having sex, and not out of obligation. Never out of obligation. That's just not how that's supposed to work. So when you're talking about courtesy and you're talking about kindness and you're talking about trust, those things are required in your relationship in order to make it work. So what you want to do is make sure that you communicate. And communication, and unfortunately this medium is not something where I have a lot of, it's not a conversation. It's not back and forth. You guys are just listening to me talk, and hopefully what I'm saying is relevant to you, or something that you can use in a forum that will help you. That's the whole point of all of this, is to help you, right? So it's about creating a partnership where you are there for each other, that there is no expectation. There is no expectation that every couple is going to be perfect, like that you will always see each other eye to eye, that you'll always be on the same page. It's never going to be that. If rarely, I'm not going to say never, because never is an absolute. Rarely will it be that. If you have an argument, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of your relationship. It just means that there's something that you guys have to work out. It's about listening as much as it is about talking. It's about paying attention to what's being said and what's not being said. You have to put yourself in a position where you are open to your opinions, your partner's opinions, or your partner's feelings, your feelings. You have to be open to having that exchange and that dialogue. And it's not easy. It takes work. It takes practice. So just remember that great sex comes from a great partnership, a great relationship where you feel safe, you feel that you are being taken care of, that you're being heard. It's about supporting the person that you're with. So recognizing when someone needs help. So take, for instance, you know that your partner has had a bad day, and you know that they're trying to deal with whatever situations at work, whatever at home. Help them, make their lives a little bit easier. I just did a series, a 5-part series, I guess, on the 5 love languages. It's on the IGTV. I have a full video on Instagram. No, on YouTube, excuse me, where I'm talking about the 5 love languages, but I chopped it up and I did a series on IGTV. So again, if you haven't checked it out, please do. What we're doing is making sure that we are recognizing who we are as individuals and who our partners are as individuals and what they need in order to flourish in a relationship, right? So if you happen to be a person, so my love language is acts of service, like, just a personal tidbit. I'm going through some stuff with my daughter, and I'm like, I love her immensely, but when she tells me one thing, but her behaviors reflect something different, there's a conflict, right? I don't necessarily feel like I'm receiving the love and affection and appreciation that I should as her mother. And it's the same thing in all of our relationships, whether it be at work, whether it be in our family dynamics, whether it's in your relationship. We have certain expectations of how it is that we expect to be treated. And when we don't get that, it impacts the relationship on a number of levels. So if you are a person who wants to hear that you're appreciated, then your words of affirmation are what is important to you. If you are a person that, like for me, acts of service, if you want to feel that somebody is there for you, you want to make sure that they are doing those things that they say they're going to do, that they are committing to what it is that you're expressing as a need and a want and a desire in your relationship. So what we have to do is make sure, so in relationship therapy and coaching, there is a theory that says you have to fill your emotional tank. So your emotional, your physical, your mental, all of that has to be satisfied in order for it to work, right? So if you are constantly doing good things, you're supportive, you're there, one little argument, one little misunderstanding, one little in the road is not going to ruin your relationship. What it is going to do, though, is make sure that when certain things happen, if they don't happen in accordance to what it is that you've expected in your relationship, that it's not the end of the world. Those things also translate into your sexual satisfaction. If you feel that you can't rely on your partner outside of the relationship, if you feel like you can't, not outside of the relationship, but outside of sex, if you feel like they aren't there for you, in the ordinary course of your day, then when it comes to sex, you're going to still feel that same apprehension. You're going to feel that, hey, I can't rely on you. I can't trust you to be that person for me if you're not there any other time. So why would it be that same way when it came time to have sex, right? So if you want to ensure your partner feels safe and feels secure, you have to do it in ways that are also non-sexual. You have to make sure that they understand who you are to them, how you feel about them, and that has to be a positive and secure feeling. So, assuming that you are building your love tank and you are building that emotional, mental, and physical connection with your partner, here are some things to consider, right? Again, the whole point of this post is that sex starts outside of the bedroom. Foreplay, if you look at my most recent post, and I'm not sure how many of you guys, well, there are a lot of you who pay attention, but can honestly relate to what it is that I'm saying, because sex is not just about the physical act. It's just not about the penetration, right? When women, especially, and for guys that perhaps don't get it, there is a lot that goes into female sexual satisfaction. It's unfortunate because we are the only creatures, human creatures, between us, male and female, that have an organ. The clitoris is designed specifically for sexual satisfaction. That's the only purpose that it serves, right? So when we know that we have the means, the capability to feel all of this sexual satisfaction, gratification, and just orgasm to the point where it is draining almost. If that doesn't happen, then there can be disappointment, but the way that it happens, it's not easy. There are literally maybe 30% of women that can have a vaginal penetration and have an orgasm, because most of the time, most women will climax from clitoral stimulation and from G-spot stimulation, mostly clitoral stimulation, and that's because that's what it was built for. So it takes a lot of work, but the clitoral stimulation isn't enough. When you are kissing and touching and caressing and speaking soft words, or even if you are a person who enjoys dirty talk, if you're a person who is enjoying somebody in the moment, it's really about taking account for their pleasure. So start having the foreplay, start having the conversations, throughout the day, the flirting. All of those things are things that you can do that lead up to sex, so that when you're having sex, it is the best sex that you are having, right? So just remember that if the end game is to have a sexual experience, intercourse, if it's to feel bonded with the person that you are with, everything else also matters. So you're not going to be in the best position to have an awesome experience if y'all are fighting, if there's tension, if you have financial troubles, if you have all kinds of other things, if it's a problem, and if you're not working together to make sure that it's something that won't get in the way of you being intimate, of you being close partners. You have to be. It's in order to have a successful relationship, sex has to be there. I can't think of a single couple that I know, a single person in any type of sexual situation where they're happy and everything else is fucked up in their life. That it just doesn't work that way. You have to be able to give yourself an opportunity to connect. And connection is something that we lose over time because we just start to go through our day-to-day lives, and You know, sex again is one of those things that falls to the back burner, and it shouldn't. It's more than just a tool to procreate. It's more than just something that we do for the sake of doing it. It's a way that we bond. It's a way that we connect. And if you are not having the best sex of your life, the best sex that you've had with your partner, there are things that you can do about it. It doesn't have to be one of those situations where take it or leave it. It's not the case. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And I don't want anybody to walk away thinking that this is something that I'm stuck with. I will tell you that in most situations, one of the things that we would talk about through a coaching session is a 3-door scenario. So if you're not having the best sex of your life and you want to do something about it, you can, well, you're not having the best sex of your life. There are 3 things you can do, 3 doors. First, do nothing. It stays the same. You don't treat it. You don't try to take care of it. It just goes on the way that it goes on. And you've chosen that situation, and that's what's going to happen. Then you have the take action. And this is my preferred method. Take action. Work together. Try to figure out what works for you and how you can be better together, right? And the last is, if you've tried everything that you can do and it's still not working, you can change your situation. You can leave. You can do something other than what you're currently doing. So it is almost 10:30 and I started almost on time, so I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I will just close by saying that I am a certified sex coach through Sex Coach University, a member of the World Association of Sex Coaches. If you don't believe that that's a thing, please go check it out. You can Google it. It's there. Certified sex coach. What that means is that I have been trained to work with you to help you develop and figure out how it is and what it is that you want, and we will together figure out how to get you there. That is my job. That is what I do. That is my passion. But I don't know how to explain it any other way. If you are not already subscribed to YouTube, please subscribe. It's apparently still free. I don't know if it changes after a while, but everything, all social media, the website, everything is at DOYOUKNKY. This only lasts again for 24 hours on Instagram. I will be posting 3 new videos on IGTV this week. We're going to be talking about anatomy, like the penis, the vagina, and the anus. So we're going to be talking about how those play into your sexual selves, right? Because again, that's what we use. I appreciate all of you who took the time out of your schedules to join me live. I do sincerely thank you. I appreciate you. Please let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about, anything that you have a concern about. I can always do some posts on it. I can do a live on it. I appreciate you. I am Shanae Jones. This is KNKY, and I will see you again next week. Bye.